back again. This is same run, Xero with Nier Automata. Any percent new game glitched. This is the default any percent category for this game. Like I said, I'm going to start in 3, 2, 1, and go. Yeah, it started. This section is just an auto scroller, so I'm just gonna explain some of the basics of the run. The gameplay is quite varied. It's kind of one of the aims of this game was to provide sort of a bunch of different stuff all meshed together. The sections like these, flight unit sections, most of the game though is just normal hack and slash combat. If you've ever played Bayonetta, any of Platinum games. So this section is timed, but there's some small optimizations you can do with killing waves quickly and stuff like that. Yeah. You're gonna see me also in this section taking intentional damage to remove some of these recoveries from my inventory. This is because I don't really need them in the prologue. It's gonna reduce the menuing time for when I need to buff later. So yeah, the prologue that we start in, this isn't what the main game looks like. There's basically 15 minutes of kind of an introduction to the characters, and you're going to see a lot of the kinds of skips that I'll be repeating throughout the run, sort of in these first 15 minutes. It's kind of like a microcosm of the run itself. So I'm going to try and get hit by all of these lasers through this section. And once the prologue is over, we get into the sort of open worldy main game with the hack and slash combat. I should kind of talk about the story of this game. It's quite complicated and convoluted, and I should also mention I'm only going to be completing the first ending of the game, ending A, so the story will look even more convoluted and nonsensical, especially because I'll be skipping all of the cutscenes.
Yeah, ending A is only about half of the actual story of the game in terms of just the main storyline.
Yeah, maybe even less.
Yeah, maybe even like a quarter segment.
But basically, we're death robots, killing death robots, but we're doing it for moral reasons.
Yeah, it's all death robots all the time.
Yeah.
It's just a question of which ones have purpose.
Humanity has been forced into the moon by the aliens' invasion, and we're stuck with clearing Earth of all these robots that the aliens left behind.
With these little, like, R2-D2 on legs looking dudes.
They're really cute.
Yeah. Little, like, rusty boys. It's just that occasionally some of them grow, like, machine guns for limbs and kill everything.
Slightly less cute when they do that.
Yeah. Some of them just want to, like, hang out, but the rest of them are just kind of, like, shoot anything that moves, which is, I guess, kind of the same thing we're doing when you think about it. I don't know, speed runs at midnight, maybe not the best time to be waxing philosophical.
I mean, if any game is fit for philosophy, this is probably it.
Yep. If any game's fit for philosophical talk, it's good old Nier Arigato Mr. Roboto.
Nier Tomato.
Nier Obama.
I've not heard that one. This is fidget spinner. Yep, it's spinning. It's very annoying when he spins.
That is what that is. I never thought about that.
Yeah, it is. Okay, that's the boring auto scroller bit over.
And now we can play a Platinum Games game.
Yes.
Or there is only one.
talking of only one, you're going to see me pretty much throughout the entire game use only a single move for most of the combat. There's a rather helpful glitch called the damage glitch that I'm going to be abusing ruthlessly. It happens when you dash and then use a heavy while you're dashing, and for some reason it multiplies the damage by 5 times, which is quite a lot. And it makes most of the combat in the game, especially early on, kind of a joke. Not that the combat is really all that difficult anyway, at least compared to Platinum Games standards. It's really sort of not the main focus of this game.
No, the main focus is the fishing minigame, clearly. As with any Yoko Taro game.
So this boss, the first boss of the game, not a real boss though, Mark's one. You can see when I got him to about 60% health, he started a Skype call, and well, again, that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
And this game starts out strong with out of bounds movement right at the start. That's just a small optimization that was found recently. Just beelining. The movement in this game is really optimized at a high level. So, so going out of bounds to get better beelines, saving little seconds here and there.
Just making sure that everything's as fast as can possibly be.
Yeah, except this silo apparently.
That said though, if that out of bounds business at the start was a small optimization, I don't think I want to know what a big optimization looks like.
Well, you'll find out whether you want to know or not.
Oh my word.
Actually, coming up right here is a quite large sequence break at the start of the game. It's actually, despite being right at the start of the game, it's actually one of the most difficult input sequences required in the speedrun, which I think is quite funny. So I just skipped over about 40 seconds of the prologue right there.
Well then.
And you'll see what I mean when I say the prologue is really kind of a microcosm of the rest of the game, because these kinds of skips that I'm doing right now, just going out of bounds randomly, clipping through walls, this is what the speedrun looks like. So through most of the combat that I'm doing here, I'm, like I said, doing damage glitches, but also trying to laser. That's the pod program that I didn't really have time to mention, but when I killed Mark's one, that boss, I received a pod program. This is the laser that you'll see. Like there, killing 3 in 1. This pod program is pretty important, but mostly for the flight sections, so I'll explain that when we get to the next one. And go for another laser there. There we go.
Triple.
Yeah. Things kind of go fast in this game, I didn't quite realize how fast.
Yeah, sometimes you don't realize that you forgot to explain something until like 5 minutes after the fact when you've done it several times. That's just a thing with these like fast-paced speedruns of this sort. I know the feeling.
Yeah. Also, that's another fairly recently discovered swag strat that only saves like 1.5 seconds or something. So
joking.
I actually lost time because I had to like reattempt it.
Oh my god.
But swag is more important than time, to be honest. So now, second boss of the game, Marks, except there's 2 of them.
Marks squared.
Yeah.
Marks 2 electric boogaloo.
Basically. I think I'm gonna have to buff for this. There's a strategy for this boss where you don't have to buff to hit the fastest cycle, but I kind of messed it up. And right after this, we're gonna get into kind of the final section of the prologue, which is just kind of an auto-scrolling boss fight, angles. So I'll have a lot of time to re-explain things that I missed. Talked about combat, the damage glitch, pod program. Actually, there's another use of pod program, despite other than simply lasering things. If you charge pod program during the kind of charge, you can see he's slowed down. So if you repeatedly charge the pod program without ever letting it activate, you can keep enemies slowed by about 50%.
Oh.
Like this. It's not super useful actually.
But it's neat to have.
Yeah, because it turns out enemies being slow generally isn't fast. You kind of yeah, but it's,
you don't say.
but it's just kind of a neat trick, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'll be using it later for some strats. And also on movement, throughout the prologue, I've just been chaining long dashes like this. You might be tempted to kind of spam dash, but that's just really slow.
Yeah. I think I noticed that when I played through the game myself, when you spam the dash like that, because the animation keeps needing to restart.
Yeah.
So you don't end up getting as much distance per speed.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I know what you mean, but those weren't the right words.
Those were not the correct words to explain that concept.
Alright, I was lucky there. He gives you one last attack before he tunnels underground. And he gave me a rather short attack. If he gives you the longest attack, you can just lose 20 seconds here.
Oof.
Yeah, kind of sucks. Prologue resets in this game. So I'm just casually out of bounds here because there's nothing I really need to do in this section. He's just gonna go underground a couple of times.
Just styling on him.
Yeah. And as soon as this boss fight is over, well, not as soon as this boss fight is over. When this boss fight finishes, we'll be put into the bunker, have to do some admin stuff and skipping dialogue and that.
Yeah, gotta go file the paperwork.
Yeah, but after that we'll be into the main content of the game. And yeah, I'm skipping all the cutscenes, so I might have to explain some like basic story points, like now 9S is stuck on top of Engels and I need to go get him back. If I can find my way up.
That guy was just blocking it with his face.
Yeah.
He was willing to give it up for the cause.
And he did.
What a lad.
Yeah. Have to fight some ninjas up here. Hope they don't just dodge all my damage glitches.
Ooh, the laser. I forgot how spectacular it looks up close.
Yeah.
Like at a distance you just kind of poke them, but up close it's properly...
This is another flight unit section, this time kind of from third person, I guess. This section, I'm literally just waiting on a dialogue to finish. I'm gonna hope for him to give me a fast attack that ends just as the dialogue finishes, so that we can get to the next section as quickly as possible. He can sometimes start a slow attack right before the dialogue ends, and you just have to wait it out. this is unfortunately not what most of the bosses are like. Well, fortunately for us. Most of the bosses in this game are a bit more active than this.
Yeah.
The prologue is a bit of kind of a spectacular nothingness.
Yeah. Sort of setting the tone and themes and whatnot.
Yeah. Which is less fun for speedrunners, but more fun for a casual experience.
Mm-hmm. Shmup segments aside, this boss is basically Metal Gear Excelsis from Metal Gear Rising, which is like another Platinum game.
I actually haven't played that game yet. I have started it. Though.
It's very good.
I kind of, after beating this game, I kind of went back and played a lot of Platinum games.
Fair enough.
Started playing Metal Gear Rising and just never got through to it.
Rising, I think, was the first game I actually played when I upgraded my PC from like a toaster laptop to an actual setup.
Yeah.
It was a hell of a game to debut on.
Like I said, lots of dialogue skipping. You only have to hold on for a short amount. We'll be into the kind of open world section of the game very shortly. This next bit coming up is a bit interesting actually, because we're gonna activate the menus, the kind of the game menus within the game world. This is quite a nice thing actually. I quite like it, and this kind of blending of the game UI with the game world is kind of repeated in the chip system, where upgrades for your character are kind of physical chips that 2B can slot in, and you can actually remove certain elements of your HUD and just kind of convenient stuff to make way for chips that deal damage, which I'm actually going to be doing in this run.
There's like a bonus ending you can get where if you remove like the core OS chip, then you instantly game over.
Yeah. This game has a lot of endings. I think 27?
26 endings, one, or it might be 27, I don't know. It's like one for every letter of the alphabet, and there might be another bonus one, I'm not entirely sure.
There's a DLC ending.
Oh yeah, of course, the DLC. One where you can fight the CEO of Square Enix as a raid boss.
Yeah, this game has a lot of humor in it.
For a game with such serious themes and storytelling, it is also very silly.
Yeah. I think that's just Yoko Taro.
Yep. Good old Yokitaro.
So another shmup section coming up, and I know I said I'd explain why pod program is so important for shmup sections, is because the version of the laser that you get in a shmup is actually much more effective. It's this thing.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that thing.
It absolutely obliterates everything.
And it does.
And in the kind of the twin sticks mode, it's even better. It's like a full kind of radial blast around
like
you.
A 360.
Yeah, missiles coming out everywhere, and that's very useful. It does a lot of damage, and in all of the shmups, there aren't that many that we have to do in any percent, but in all of the shmups to come, I'll be using that on key targets to just kind of wipe them out. Not like there.
There we go.
Yeah. I mistimed that.
Might not have accomplished much, but it looked nice.
Yeah. I think that's all any of us can hope to do. And when we ended prologue, all the stuff in our inventory was removed, including the large sword that we had. Oh, sorry, the small sword that we had. No, it is the large sword. I'm getting confused. Anyway, the only weapon we're left with is a small sword called the Virtuous Contract. Luckily for us, this is actually one of the best weapons in the game for speedrunning. First of all, because it's a small sword, and there's a lot of movement and skip tech that you can only do with small sword. The second aspect of that is that when you level up Virtuous Contract, it gains attack speed, and that's just because the base damage gets an upgrade and you get attack speed. It's kind of a pretty large DPS increase anytime you level it up. And it's also useful for a movement tech that I'll be doing later, called dash swinging, where I use part of an attack animation for the sword to kind of move faster. And so the higher level the sword is, the faster my attack speed and the faster that movement becomes. So it's kind of pretty convenient that we have one of the best weapons in the game just by default, and we don't have to go looking for anything else.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm just accepting some fetch quests. These are mandatory. We need to complete them to access the desert area, which is the next area in the game after the city. So doing a few small fetch quests in the city. And you're going to see some attempts at optimized movement. Again, chaining dashes. There is a slightly faster movement tech for this section of the game, where you dash and then punch afterwards. But it's quite precise if you want to actually save time for it.
Almost activated the self-destruct.
That was actually intentional. Self-destruct is actually one of the most useful abilities in this game, weirdly. Well, it has many uses, I should say. It cancels all animations, or almost all of them. So you can self-destruct whenever you want, just to kind of cancel animations, go faster, stuff like that. And another benefit of this is that when you're in midair, you can cancel your heavy animation and do another heavy in midair. Normally you'd be capped at doing 2 heavies in a combo, but you can get 3 by doing a heavy and then an SD and then a heavy, and just tapping the SD button. Also, fully self-destructing. So holding the SD button, it explodes you and deals quite a lot of damage to enemies around you as well. So that's useful. It also reduces you to 1 HP, which I'm going to be using later in order to death warp somewhere.
I thought it just outright killed you.
No.
I never actually used it, aside from that one ending where you do it in the bunker.
Yeah. It also slightly alters 2B's outfit.
Oh.
And you'll be seeing that later. So, the fetch quest that we just did, there's another convenience that's required, gave us the exact materials necessary to upgrade the best weapon for speedruns in the game. So, now it's level 2, that means that the fastest method of movement is going to be the dash swings I was talking about. So, doing a dash into a dash heavy, and then cancelling the end of the dash heavy with another dash, and just chaining that. I think it's about 5% faster than just chaining dashes, which over long distances is actually quite a lot. The one problem is that because there's an auto lock-on feature in this game, and I'm doing an attack to move around,
sometimes you end up zigzagging off to go and attack
a
distant enemy.
So sometimes it's better to just not do dash swings if there's an enemy in your sights, but also you can kind of manipulate the camera around to make sure that enemies are outside your vision.
Imagine being one of those enemies, though. You're just going about discovering the first, like, steps toward life having a purpose, and then an android comes, like, spinning top with a sword at you.
It does look a bit ridiculous, doesn't it?
That'd be terrifying. I love it.
Some buys here. I need recoveries. They restore your health, and some buffs. The buffs increase your damage by 50% each. So range buffs increase the damage of your pod fire, and melee buffs, obviously melee attacks. And yeah, flipped out of bounds there. This is not a skip. This is just for more optimized movement, beelining through all this stuff, because there are walls in the way sometimes, and you can just clip through them.
You wouldn't have been able to see it, but I was sort of mid-yawn when you did that, and like the combination of tiredness and surprise, I'm sure that was a very interesting facial expression for everyone watching at home.
I'm sure they're watching intently on this gameplay, so I wouldn't worry about it. I also bought animal sachet and bait. You can ride animals in this game.
Oh yeah, like in the first
game. They're not fast most of the time, but there is one case where it's faster to ride an animal, so I'll be doing that. And I also bought a chip called Resilience. I won't be equipping this until quite a bit later in the game, but once I equip it, it will mean that when I get hit by enemies, if I'm above 80% health, I think, I won't be staggered. And this is useful just because combat can get kind of hectic sometimes. So just being able to DPS enemies without needing to worry about staggers. And you'll see me sliding throughout this area down the sound dunes. Yeah. I'm going to be just moving around for a little bit, so you can read any donations if there are some. Alright. Coming up to a big skip that I'm going to have to actually explain this time, called the Desert Housing Skip. In the center of this kind of desert housing unit that you can see just over the cliff over there, there's a pit full of robots that I have to kill, because I'm going to kill every robot in the world. That's 2B's mission. But actually going through the complex would be really slow. So I'm just going to clip around it. This does have the unfortunate consequence of skipping quite a lot of triggers that I need to load all the robots that I want to kill. So I'm going to have to hit these triggers from out of bounds, and then try and get in bounds at the correct point to hit another trigger. That clip can be kind of annoying. And I'm just going full out of bounds here. I'm pretty far away from anything that was intended to be seen right now. Yeah. I said just clipping through everything was going to be the default for this run.
You weren't joking.
Yeah. That's the first trigger hit. Let's see if I can get the second one. Nice.
Hey.
Here's the robots I want to kill. I'm just going to buff first. And change my weapon. The reason why I'm changing my weapon here is because the damage glitch only works when the small sword is in your heavy slot. So by default, it's in the light slot for one of the weapon slots, and it's in the heavy slot for the other one. So I'm just switching it so that it's in the correct slot for both.
I see. Sorry, I'm still just not quite over how, like, all of that skip was, like, Very precise looking movement, very methodical, and then after you hit the trigger, you just yeet yourself straight into the hole across the void. I love that. That's amazing.
And another reason why I switched the second weapon slot is because you can actually damage glitch and then switch to your second weapon set and damage glitch again. This is called double damage glitch. It's very creative naming.
Damage glitch.
Yeah, I should have called it that. And yeah, this basically doubles the damage of the double damage glitch. So
that's what, a 10 times damage overall?
Yeah.
Wow. And now we're gonna beat up a naked man.
Yeah. It's never quite explained why Adam is always naked.
I mean, I guess it's part of the biblical allegory.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, Sephiroth. I mean, that is what he is, essentially. Look at him. Got the hair and everything.
Oh, I kind of messed that up there. A little bit of improv required. Sorry, I was talking at the start of that fight, so I didn't really introduce this. This is Adam. We're going to be seeing him a couple of times. He likes to show up and annoy people. And right now he's just standing up on that platform. Can you come down, Adam, please? Thank you.
The thing I always thought was a bit weird when I was playing casually was how, like... Is it just me, or is pod more accurate when you're not locked on?
It actually is.
Yeah, because it seems like when you're locked on, the bullets go to the side a little bit, but when you just try and aim, they go dead in a straight line.
That's exactly how it works.
Oh.
Okay. Made kind of a pig Xero that fight. But you saw me using the double damage glitch, pod program, the cycling of the pod program to slow him sometimes. So that's the kind of the basics of the combat.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't die quickly, but when I was actually hitting him, he did die quickly. That's again because of the double damage glitch. I'm essentially doing 9 times the damage that the game expects me to deal.
Things do tend to die quickly when you hit them with a sword 10 times more powerful than it actually is.
Yeah.
Just like in real life.
And the lore on that guy is he's a robot baby immaculate conception kind of thing. And when we killed him in the cutscene that I skipped, another robot baby popped out of his chest called Eve.
Yeah, that'll be Eve.
Yeah. Born from Adam's rib. So this game likes its biblical references and philosophical references.
That's why all the giant crane robots are named after 19th century philosophers, Marx and Engels.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Isn't there Hegel later, I think? Is that in the game? Or am I
there
making
is,
that up?
yeah. That's in Route C, I think. So, sorry, this is going rather quickly. Now I'm on my way to the amusement park, the best area of the game.
Aye.
And Beauvoir, the best boss of the game. I'm going to be told here that there are some androids that have been captured. I need to go rescue. They're all dead. I'm actually there to kill robots, like always. Yeah. It's surprising, actually.
That's just the daily grind. You go out, you kill robots.
Yeah.
It just be like that sometimes. That must be dizzy. Spitting that much.
She's wearing a blindfold, so I actually...
Good point. I hadn't considered that. I am adding nothing to this run.
I actually think it's quite cool having someone who's never seen a run of this before, because this is so absolutely different from a casual playthrough to kind of a ridiculous degree.
Oh, definitely. There's just entire bits of the game that just, nope, we don't do them.
So, like I said, this is the amusement part.
Yep.
It has the best music in the game.
I have a funny story about this area, but I'll tell it later when we're at the relevant part of the game.
Alright. I tried for a small cutscene skip there, but the skip itself only actually saves around a second. So the moment I messed it up, I just went into the cutscene anyway, because it doesn't really matter.
You can just skip it anyway.
Yeah. That's one thing I quite like about this game, that you can actually skip all the cutscenes on a new file. Shoutouts to Akami, where in the original versions of that game, you actually couldn't skip cutscenes on a new file.
Huh. I remember in Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix, because in pretty much all the Kingdom Hearts games you can skip cutscenes, but in 1 Final Mix, because in 1 original you couldn't skip cutscenes, but then in Final Mix they made it so that you could skip cutscenes, but only after you'd seen them once. So you had to sit through the cutscene the first time, but then if you died to the boss and had to watch it again, then you could skip it.
I mean, that's something, but not really what you want.
Yeah, all the games after that, you can just skip the cutscenes as much as you like.
So unfortunately, I had to skip through most of Amusement Park there because it's fast.
You don't get to see the tank.
Yeah, tank is cool. This roller coaster that we're on is timed. It'll drop us off at the boss of this area when it finishes. So I'm just gonna kill some robots.
That's another fun thing about the dialogue in this game is when you get to something like a roller coaster, something very human, and the pods are like, data indicates that humans used to sit on metal death machines for fun.
Yeah. I actually picked up a really lucky drop there. I got a critical up chip from one of the enemies.
The music in this area as well. Not just all the music in this game. Keiichi Okabe knocked it out of the park with this one.
Yeah, this is award-winning soundtrack.
Oh yeah. I remember there was a video they posted of Yoko Taro lying on the floor having a sulk because Okabe was winning all the awards for Nier Automata and not him.
This boss will absolutely melt, so you'll see all the phases of this boss, but I can't guarantee
we won't see them for very long. Yeah. Oh god, yeah, that health bar.
Yep. I'm just leading her towards the stage, because when this phase finishes, she has to go back to the stage.
So it saves time on the movement.
Yeah. And now she's going to hack us. Hopefully this is the only hack that we see in this section. This is a mechanic that's explored a lot more in the second route of the game. It's just like a little 2D shooting puzzle.
Like a mini bullet hell for like a couple of seconds.
Yeah. These androids in this phase can hack you though. I'm going to try and avoid it, but it's quite slow to go into that kind of shooting sequence and then go out of it. And yeah, those waves, if you don't jump over them.
And that's how they get you.
Yeah. There we go. Uneventful.
They were there and then they weren't. That's about as simple as that went. This boss in general is also something that gets explored a lot more in the second side of the campaign.
Yeah, that's true.
Sort of a similar approach that Nier 1 took is that they let you do all the bosses and just let you fight them, and then on the second playthrough is where you get to like find out more about them and be like, oh, I wish I didn't kill them.
You saw I self-destructed at the end of that boss fight while the boss was dying. This is because I'm going to do a death warp in a little bit, so just being at 1 HP...
Yep, makes that a bit easier.
Yeah.
And also now we naked.
Yeah, this is what 2B's outfit looks like when she self-destructs. Her skirt is not fireproof apparently. Now we're on our way to the machine village to meet Pascal.
What happens if you kill this guy? Oh, I guess we'll find out now.
Oh, you can just go to the machine village without him.
Oh. So I remember one time, on my first playthrough on the way, I accidentally hit him by mistake, and I felt like really bad about it, because I thought the game was gonna, like, tell me off for it. But no, that just happens. That was anticlimactic.
One thing I didn't mention before is that lots of the cutscenes in this game that have kind of floor triggers for them, if you just kind of walk into them, 2B will do this really slow walk-in cinematic thing, but if you're in any kind of animation, like you're jumping or you're dash swinging, the cutscene just starts immediately. So I've been doing that into every cutscene.
Oh, I see. I thought it was just a side effect of essentially being constantly doing something.
Well, it kind of is, but part of it is intentional. So I'm going to quick save at this access point, because I'm going to death warp back. Dying in this game keeps all your quest progress, but you lose any XP you got between saving and dying, and you also drop your chips on the ground. That's why I haven't equipped any of my chips yet. Just because...
Want to keep them?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And we also get to ride an animal here.
Sorry, I've got a little bit of cold.
That's right.
That's probably why I sound a little stuffy.
So, hopefully this small boar... Yes, no moose. Yes. I get to show you boar hopping.
What a lad. There he goes.
Yep.
Such a majestic wild member of the animal kingdom. Boing, 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 boing.
Yep. This is the best movement tech in the game.
6-0 is like pouring her heart out to us, and we're just over here boar hopping.
Yep.
This is amazing. This is almost better than like the jet boar in like the first Nier that went at like a gazillion miles an hour.
Anyway, while 6-0 is being annoying, we made our way to the resistance camp. I'm gonna just talk to this door, and 6-0 will
Hey,
stop.
door, how's it going?
6-0 will stop her dialogue.
Wonderful weather we're having, eh, door?
So this is the quest item that Pascal needed.
The viscous oil.
Yeah. So now that I have it, I'm gonna get this boar to kill me, please. Kill me quickly. Yes. Okay.
Off. He was just having none of it.
And now we're back at the village with that quest complete.
Oh.
Yeah. It's only used here. Because later on we'll have the ability to teleport between access points. That was actually a dialogue skip right there. I shot the machine in order to trigger kind of a new dialogue that would cancel the Skype call, so that then I could talk to Pascal without having to wait for the Skype call to be over.
Okay, here's the story I was going to say that I mentioned earlier. First time I did this part of the game, I didn't know this path was there, so I tried to go back through the amusement park, and then the game gave me like a bonus ending that was like 2B and 9S got bored and went off and everyone died, the end. And then reset.
Yeah. So, the city is being attacked by machines. Everything went monochrome for some reason. And I have to go kill them. Killing robots.
Is the monochrome like a thing in this mission, or is that just a side effect from when you were at 1 HP for a good while?
It's specific to this mission, yeah.
Oh, right.
It'd be like this, whatever.
It's been a good while since I've played this game, so there's some details I'm hazy on.
So there are 2 angles, like in the prologue, that I have to fight in this section, but I'm actually only going to fight one of them. The first one, there's going to be an invisible wall to the left of him that's blocking my access to the flight units that I need to go kill the second one. So I'm just going to hop over this invisible wall, and you'll see me just kind of fly through the first angles because the game just kind of doesn't expect you to skip him.
I'm sure this is going to look like something.
Yeah. I think this is my stuff, yeah.
Hey Engels, how's it going?
I gotta try and go over this invisible wall anyway.
Alright, nice talking with you. Bye, Engels.
I had to try something new there. For some reason, my my usual setup for that wasn't working, so I tried just a different rock.
Backup strats.
Yeah. The technique that I used there, the reason why I needed to kind of jump up against the rock is because I started a combo, and then if you start a combo kind of next to a slanted surface and kind of walk into it, you kind of start the combo, but then immediately touch the ground, so it will reset all your jumps.
I see.
Basically, so you can get kind of an extra jump in a combo if you're against it, like a sloped surface. It's quite useful. It's called a double lift, because you can lift twice.
Yep.
Really creative names. Yeah. And you also saw the pod program completely destroy the second angles.
My brain kind of didn't even register that as a fight. I was busy thinking about combo slopes.
Yeah.
Whatever was going on. I didn't realize there was a boss fight happening.
And now I'm on my way to see Adam again.
I think we're going on like an alien base, but then a shirtless man is like, haha, surprise!
Yeah, I'm gonna get accosted by 2 shirtless men in a dark cave, so...
Average Thursday night in Glasgow, really.
And this section, this fight, is just on a timer. I'm gonna have to wait for their dialogue to finish. So...
They're gonna say some exposition, but not really about.
Yeah.
You don't really know what happened on this planet, do you? Well, we can't give everything away, and they'll leave you for the rest of the game like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So even though this section is timed, I'm still gonna fight Eve and kill him once for the experience. He'll give me a level's worth of experience for killing him the first time. So, but then I'm gonna try and do some creative stuff with the time that I have left. I said amusement park has the best music, but this is maybe this fight theme.
My favorite music comes a little bit later, personally.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Come over here, Eve. Come
on. Long punch.
That's not what I wanted.
Those are some nice trousers he's got on. Oh, okay.
So now I'm outside the fight.
I guess this is a thing you can do.
Again, I can't really do anything with this.
Why not?
Okay, well I'm supposed to be able to do something with this, but I'm messing it up.
Bonkers.
Well, I wanted to go out of bounds and into the cave and just kill robots, because I like killing robots, but I messed up the skip, so I'm just gonna wait.
Aww. Sorry, I'm just trying to be very I'm trying to be very conscious of all of my movements because of how creaky these like leather boots are.
It's a good costume. I like it.
Oh, thank you.
The attention to detail with the heels is maybe not necessary, but
I had regular boots that I normally wear with this, but those recently broke. I was trying to super glue them earlier, and I managed to fix them. I super glued the sole back on, but I accidentally super glued the zip down as well.
Oh my god!
So I had to wear these. I've got spare shoes in my bag because I am not wearing heels back home. These things are quite painful to walk in.
Anyway, after that fight, we gain access to fast travel, which is pretty convenient. You can just fast travel between any access point that you've unlocked. And right now we're going back to the bunker to kind of do more admin stuff with the commander. She wants to know what's going on. And she's going to tell us to go investigate machines in the Forest Kingdom. Nice, come here. What are you doing? Okay, I tried for a dialogue skip there, but quite a small dialogue skip, but Ninus just wasn't cooperating.
Let it happen.
Yeah, it's a type of dialogue skip you can do where you start a conversation with your partner by holding B, and then walk over another dialogue trigger, and so they'll just cancel out. The dialogue won't play, and you can move forward. There's another one coming up kind of in the entrance to the Forest Kingdom.
Actually, no, I do really like the music here as well. That marimba.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I'm also going to do some more buys here. Because this guy's right here, inconvenient. Just going to sell all the stuff in my inventory I don't want for money, but also just to get it out of the way.
Yeah, I was about to say, you said I'm going to buy some stuff, and then went into the sell menu. I was like, wait a minute, are you sure that's how this sort of thing works?
I'm also selling a bunch of my kind of.
How many of them ones did you
chips.
just buy?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Just
it's
99.
I have a lot of money right now, so I'm just buying
Fair enough.
in mass, so I don't have to kind of run out later. I'm also gonna do my equips here. Put in the resilience chip that I bought earlier, and the one crit, which was from Roller Coaster of all things. Another double lift here, if I don't mess it up. Another elaborate movement to not get over that trigger. That's what I was trying to skip. It's a very small cutscene.
Yep.
Like, it's already over and I have movement control again. Yeah. Now we're on our way to the Forest Kingdom, which is, you know, I know I said amusement park was my favorite area, but this one is up there.
This is also a great area, yeah.
Yeah. And one of the reasons why I really like this area is you're going to see kind of pure movement and skips. I'm going to go basically straight from the entrance to the boss of this area, A2, as quickly as possible, and it's going to look kind of ridiculous, which is absolutely what I want. So here's walking over the trigger with 9S dialogue up, and skipped a long dialogue about buying t-shirts or something.
But now to get through the gate, we've got to find the boy.
Check this guy. He's just running away.
Played the first game, you'll know who I mean by the boy. Oh, we didn't. I forgot we could skip cutscenes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, I could have watched that cutscene, but I didn't think about it. We just saw but didn't see Emil.
Looks like the forest is just ahead.
Unfortunately, we won't see him, get an opportunity to see him again in this route. He's a
good lad.
Yeah. He's one of the best supporting characters in this game.
Skeletal boy.
Yeah. Does look quite a lot like Jack Skellington.
Mm-hmm.
So, the boss of this area is in the castle over there. And I'm gonna basically skip through the forest because a lot of this is open. There aren't many mandatory triggers to hit in this area, so I can basically just go straight to the castle.
Don't listen to what they're saying to me.
Just a bunch of robots screaming about the Forest King, and you're just like, nope, not having any part of this. I'm just gonna go over here.
Are there any donations?
Slow evening.
Alright.
I mean, not over here. This is going pretty fast.
Yeah? So, right now, you've kind of already seen vertical movement in this game and just how high you can get. Now I'm going to try and show off horizontal movement. I'm going to try. This skip is not difficult, so it'll only take like 10 tries. And one more.
No banana.
Yeah. What I'm abusing here is the fact that if you're holding A, when you go off a cliff, you get kind of an extra pod spin. So I just did 4 pod spins in that sequence, which makes it very easy to travel large distances horizontally. And if the camera can please, camera. There we go. I just punched through the wall, and
that's a great phrase.
This is the outside of the castle. And
this is supposed to be like a 2D segment.
Yeah, there are these windows that are rather conveniently placed that just let you climb all
like
the way.
The snake dude's supposed to come in there and take...
Yeah, all the way to the top of the castle.
Oh, okay.
So the area that I just entered.
This is the end of the area.
This is the end, and there's a long 2D section as well through the castle.
Yeah, I remember the segment. It is pretty long.
Yeah.
I can vouch for the scope of that skip.
This is A2.
I mean, not this. That's a baby. This is A2.
Yeah, that's Emmanuel. I think he's called. this is A2. She can be annoying. She's kind of a player character type boss, which means she attacks fast, just like us.
Yeah.
Which is annoying to deal with.
Essentially, for another Platinum Games comparison, if you've played Metal Gear Rising, this is essentially like the Jetstream Sam type of fight.
Spacing is godlike. There we go.
Just keep on juggling.
Yep. Keep on damage glitching.
Let's go after her, 2B.
Luckily, as you can see, the raw output of damage that double damage glitch can give out can cover for my failings quite a lot.
It's like, oh, you want to get near me? No, I'm just gonna keep throwing my 5 times damage sword at you.
Yeah. And just then, you saw me kind of do another high jump and plunge through a trigger that just kind of skipped a long conversation with Pascal and opening the gate between the Forest Kingdom and Pascal's village. So I can just walk there.
Yep.
And then don't have to deal with it.
It'll be faster if you...
And the next section of the game, we're gonna go back to the resistance camp. We're gonna be told to go protect some missiles.
Oh yeah, I know the next coming up. And
then we're gonna fight Grun. And Grun is this big laser whale.
Sea monster, essentially.
Yeah. It's also entirely in flight units, this boss.
It's a long one.
Yeah, and not only is it long, but most of it is an auto-scroller. So there's essentially like 12 minutes of auto-scroller coming up.
I feel your pain.
Yeah.
In the game I run, there's a 16-minute auto-scroller right at the end of the run.
Rough.
Yeah.
So another clip out there just by jumping in between some boxes.
Just vibing through the fence.
Yeah. So I'm going to go down to the flooded city where the missiles are.
Oh god, I didn't realize it was just over there.
Yeah, it's literally just behind the resistance camp.
Oh my god.
Kind of convenient. There I'm hitting a trigger and then I'm going to void out and the game is going to put me back up here. And I can go to a different area of the flooded city. Oh, wait, what? I just landed on the ground there. Didn't know you could do that. I'm go straight to another area of the flooded city, kind of straight after hitting that mandatory trigger. So I was just up at the resistance camp, and now I'm at the end of this area. It's another fidget spinner.
Yep. Haven't seen him in a while. Normally, if you do like the sort of the open world missions and whatnot, you'll see a couple of them around.
Yeah, this game has a ton of quests and optional content that I'm just entirely skipping.
I think that's the last of
That small dialogue skip come up here by kind of trying to leave the area. Pod will give you a dialogue about, are you sure you want to leave? So that just cancels what Ninus was saying and leads straight into that cutscene. I'll be using another dialogue cancel like that later on. And this is the start of the shmup section leading into Grim. So because this this boss is mostly in shmups, I'm going to be using lots of the pod program to try and optimize things a little bit. But like I said, a lot of this is going to be auto-scrollers. At least the music is good though.
Yeah, this is what, it's the remix of Dark Colossus from the first game, isn't it? Yeah,
I think it is, yeah.
This is probably one of my favourite songs in the game. Actually, I don't know if that song has started yet, but it's in this area.
We also get to fire a giant cannon at one point, so...
Yeah.
It's not all bad.
I think by this point in my casual playthrough, I just had a bunch of healing chips, and then I held down X and never died for the rest of the game. That was about my experience.
Yeah, so grunt skip, if it's possible, would be welcomed by many runners of this game. There's quite a large bounty on it, I think, as well. So whoever would discover a way to skip this boss, earn quite a bit of money from it as well. Because the run has been, for the most part, lots of movement, lots of action, lots of combat. After this, for the most part, it's going to be very active, lots of skips after this. It goes like straight back into pure action. But this
is just,
section right here, yeah. And it sucks that there's very few ways to kind of optimize things as well. Like, just a boring section in a speedrun can become interesting if you find ways to optimize it and to save time, but this is not really like that.
Picking up a large-scale enemy inbound. Looks to be 2.8 clicks southwest of us.
This is a mini-boss that precedes Grun. I'm going to be killing this guy largely with pod programs.
It's a slab. It's a flying grey slab of concrete.
One thing I also didn't mention about the pod program is that you have a separate cooldown for the pod program for each pod that you have. And because I picked up a second pod in the desert, I can use a pod program, switch pods, and then use it again directly afterwards.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I get 2 uses of that, kind of every time they go off cooldown.
Wait, I'm still picking up a large enemy presence. Didn't I kill that already? What on? If it's that big, we should be able to see it.
Here he is,
He is the boy.
big old laser whale himself.
A machine? It's freaking huge.
Oh yeah, here's where the Dark Colossus track starts. This is absolutely my business.
Just kind of a quick side note about XP in this game. Your partner can kill things, and when your partner kills things, you don't get the XP for that. But they also don't get individual XP of their own, so it just disappears into the ether. The XP just vanishes. So I don't want 9S to kill anything. I'd really prefer if he just kind of
Stay out of my way,
yeah,
you nerd.
exactly. And you can get into quite a bit of trouble if 9S ends up killing a boss or something like that that gives
God.
lots of XP. Luckily, it's almost impossible to happen because we just deal so much DPS with the double damage glitch and buffs and everything. But it can happen, and it's very annoying. It happens more often in these flight sections that 9S will steal kills because we don't have access to the double damage glitch here, so we're kind of doing more reasonable amounts of damage. Another technique that I've been using a bit to maximize damage is taunt. When you toggle your flashlight on and off in front of an enemy's face many times, they actually get applied with a debuff called taunt, where they'll glow red and start steaming, and they'll deal and also take 50% more damage. So
Yeah,
it's
that's been in a couple of like character action games.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, if I remember rightly, you want to know the first game that had that mechanic? Of all the things, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie's Revenge, which was essentially a Devil May Cry clone. Yeah, it came out, I think, like, less than a year before Devil May Cry 3, and it's got a bunch of the same people working on it. And you can find early versions of, like, that taunt mechanic and some, like, the cyborg grab arm that the dude has in Devil May Cry 4, a bunch of stuff like that. And, like, the jumps in Bayonetta. You can find early versions of all that in The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's a great game. Yeah, there's my tangent of the day.
That I appreciated that. That's a useful bit of trivia tonight. I'm just beating up one of Brun's cores here. He has a lot.
Yep.
3 of them. And you saw me use pod program again in that section just to kill him off as quickly as possible.
Those core sections are fun just because you can do a lot of like meaty DPS. You know what I mean?
Now we get to detour a little bit to fire a giant cannon.
As you do.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love firing a giant cannon?
She's the commanding officer 4B, but 4B died in the opening shot. She was one of the androids who was with
of course, yeah, because of course that's one of the main themes is that people die a bunch, but they have like bodies.
Yeah.
Just going around.
It's spooky.
That's like, because we skipped the cutscene where that happened, but in the prologue, we basically took down Engels by exploding both of ourselves.
Yeah.
And then we just had bodies waiting in space to like upload our brains to.
Yeah. This speedrun is not where you're going to find all of the lore, unfortunately, just because so much of it is in cutscenes and dialogue that is completely skipped. So, Grun is immune to giant cannons.
He's a
apparently.
beefy boy.
Yeah.
So we can't quite hurt him yet. Now he's gonna yawn, and we're gonna get him.
Yeah. And right after this, we go straight back to comfy shmups.
Yep.
I say comfy.
Look at him eating that. That must have hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, my indigestion. Oh.
And also, luckily,
I don't know why Grun sounds like Mr. Plinkett.
that makes me feel better about having to stick around with him so much. We're performing some lightning fast VCR repair on his cores right here.
Nier Automata is the most disappointing thing since my son. Oh dear, what are we doing?
Yeah, just killing time, really.
Oh, Pascal's here, by the way. He's helping out.
Well, he's not really.
But he's here. He's helping out in spirit. He's providing moral support. What a lad.
That's what's important.
Yeah.
Also, 9S is about to leave, so I no
He's gonna
longer
go do something.
I no longer have to deal with the possibility of him stealing my XP. The reason why XP even matters is that, kind of like in a traditional RPG, every level you get a base damage increase and base health and stuff like that. So the higher level I am when I finish the game, the more DPS I'll be doing in those endgame fights. So I'd like to hit level 20. That'd be sweet.
I just later point out, by the way, he's gotten out of the water and now he's a big boy.
Yeah.
A big
Turned into a kind of a Godzilla.
Yeah. You like punched him in the mouth and he's like, oh, I got who did that? Oh.
Coming up on the second one of Grun's cores.
Yep. Shoot him in the bum.
These rotate around a lot.
Yep.
Hopefully they rotate in convenient ways.
You gotta hit them when they're the same place as you on the y-axis.
And no, they decided to rotate 90 degrees from me, so I can't hit them. Thanks, Grun.
God, I keep thinking it sounds like Brum, like, you know that old show with the car? That old, like, kids show on, like, CBBS?
I don't actually, but...
It was like an old-timey car called Brum, and there'd always be, like, some mean dude in town who, like, stole a teddy bear or something, and Brum would, like, drive after him and humiliate him, and then all the townspeople would be like, yeah, Brum, you're a legend, mate.
I don't know what the correct pronunciation is, because it's Grun with an umlaut. Is that Grun?
Grun, probably.
Grun?
Grun.
Grun.
Something like Grun.
Yeah. Grun. So, another little section of shmup, and then final Grun core, and then we get back to playing the game.
You know what he kind of looks like? He kind of looks like a Big Daddy, but with extra arms.
Yeah, that fits. I kind of hadn't realized before that he has like 6 arms or something.
And pulses as well. There's a lot going on visually.
Yeah.
Very set piecey.
This really is kind of a set piece boss.
Yeah.
It's just kind of unfortunate that doesn't translate well into speedrunning.
Shame. Still, at least I sometimes I appreciate this kind of downtime in a speedrun where you can just hold down a button for a bit and get kind of zen with it.
Yeah, it's nice, it's relaxed.
Yeah. Let's have a bit of a cool off period.
We all like going faster though.
Oh yeah,
unfortunately,
definitely.
these things just aren't fast.
Well, sometimes it is annoying when even in sections like this you've got to like optimize your damage and stuff.
And again, he rotated 90 degrees.
The rotations are not in our favor.
And wow, yeah.
That sounds like something from like a movie that you'd see on a t-shirt. May the rotations...
Seriously?
What is... May the rotations be ever in your favor, Mr.
Please,
Potter.
thank you.
That is like something you get on a t-shirt on like We Love Fine.
Alright, there we go.
You want to shoot him in the yellow.
It's over now.
Yes.
We've disabled his shield.
And here comes a giant fist!
And 9S can drive a giant missile into his face. So,
Oh, damn, I forgot to bring my water with me.
yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't fill my water bottle very much, so...
Yeah, I'm sure there's like a tap.
And now we're back into pure action.
We're back at the flooded place.
Come in. Over.
Operator to 2B? 2B, are you alright?
Running system diagnostics. Core functionality appears intact.
I failed a ground warp
Easy.
there that would have put me here, kind of before that dialogue started, but that's fine. Now, 9S has gotten lost somewhere, we need to go find him. 60 wants us to go collect a scanner so that we can kind of track him down. But I've played the game before, I already know where he's going to be, so I'm just going to go straight there.
No, don't worry, we got this.
Yeah, so I'm not going to go meet Devila and Popula,
Oh,
get the
shame.
scanner. Yeah, we'll see them later briefly.
Yeah. They mostly show up in parts of the game that we're not playing.
Yeah, that's another thing to say. You know, even by the end of this run, I'll only beaten maybe a third of
Yeah.
the game. So,
If that.
oh, this skip has a keyboard setup.
I'd use a mousey keyboard. Oh, there we go. Whee!
Yeah,
That is amazing. Just rocketing down at a 45-degree angle. I love it.
yeah. And this is where 9S is going to be. This is the copied city.
Uh-huh.
Adam's.
Oh, yeah, of course. I forgot about this bit.
We're going to meet Adam again, who we fought in the desert. And hopefully this time, spaghetti a bit less. And in this area is the skip that I was talking about, another skip with the pod dialogue for leaving an area. In this area, the only place that you can get that dialogue is by entering the elevator that I just came from. So once this boss fight starts, I'm going to go back to that elevator and trigger the dialogue. Although, if I actually go in the elevator, this area will be deloaded,
Oh, dear.
and then I'll be transported back into a deloaded area. So
And nobody wants that.
yeah, that would be a soft lock if that happens. So I'm not going to do that. And 2B, can you clip out of bounds and stop? Yeah, there we go.
My brother got dropped into a deloaded area once. He's still drinking his meals through a straw.
Yikes.
We don't talk about it. I don't know what that joke was.
And this is rather aptly named mansplaining skip because Adam loves to talk and talking is slow.
Oh my, I wasn't ready. That's amazing. Oh, I'm okay. I'm okay.
There we go. I didn't soft lock. So now we go through to the second phase of this fight without having to listen to him monologuing.
At least he's got a nice shirt.
Yeah, very well dressed. All of the character design in this game is actually pretty amazing.
How can I cop those gloves? And like red tip claw gloves.
Can you not do that, Adam?
I don't have time for you. I need.
Oh, nice crit there though.
Oh jeez. Yeah, he's melting.
And final phase. I kind of didn't want him to do that. And there we go. That's
we go.
Adam 2.
Stab and leave.
Yeah. Do you have any donations for that? Let's chill. It's late night.
Damn.
Yep.
Oh. Come back up.
So 9S is now recouping in the bunker. So we're going to be solo for a little bit. And our next mission is to go into... Oh hey, Devil and Poplar.
Oh, we do meet him.
Yeah. Just to buy some things. And our next mission is to go murder some machines, I think.
That's usually what it is.
Yeah.
When in doubt.
In the factory this time. There's
Yeah, of course.
a weird cult has emerged.
Decom as gods.
A cult of robots who love committing ritual self-sacrifice. And
Who doesn't really?
this section of the run, the factory, is full of skips. So I might not be able to keep up with what I'm doing. Sort of the basic gist of it is that once we're dropped into the factory, we can kind of go anywhere, but we need to hit all the mandatory triggers throughout the factory in order to spawn the final boss of the area. So I'm going to be flipping out of bounds, traveling places, just to hit all the triggers. But first, there's like a little introduction sequence.
You've got to do with Pascal.
Yeah, lots of waiting around for slow robots and dialogue.
At least it's not as slow as in the B route.
Yeah. But we do get to see another of the best movement techniques in the game. Yeah. This is faster than just the slow walk, by the way.
my face. What are you doing? Get out of here. I don't like that.
If you-
Get out of here. What are you doing? Get out of
In
here.
this game, if you try to look up 2B's skirt,
She does that.
she pushes you away.
So if we keep making her jump backwards, we're getting a net positive.
Yeah, it pushes her forward faster. Here are the religious machines, and I'm just gonna have to wait for this guy to activate an elevator up ahead. There's no known way of speeding through this part, so I'm just gonna mess about. Self-destruct again.
That broke the health bar.
Yeah, the UI gets messed
Yeah,
up.
whenever you're near the point of death.
Just another case of kind of merging the gameplay and the UI.
I love how the moment you get health, it just instantly dips right the way back. Like, yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah. A slow elevator ride, Pascal. And then we're going to be dropped into Skipland.
Skipland, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Population, the game.
This is the taunt that I was talking about that I've been using. If you, spam flashlight in their face, they go all red.
They get all steamed.
Yeah. So in this room, the game wants me to kill all of these machines, or most of them anyway. I'm gonna try and clip out of bounds, and therefore despawn them all. So just to advance to the next section as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the clip in time, so I'm actually gonna have to fight them.
So we're going to have to slaughter.
Yeah. This isn't that much slower. The actual amount of machines that you have to kill here seems to be completely random.
Oh.
But they die quickly, so...
Yeah, I mean, they're like basic enemies, just with fancy clothes on.
Yeah. So this is what triggers when you kill enough of them. Is this elevator here? And Pascal, can you get in the elevator, please?
Pascal?
Pascal?
Buddy?
Thank you.
All the good those like rocket pants are doing you can't get into elevators.
Yep. And here's 9S, he's hacked into a machine.
Yeah.
And he's gonna help us escape through the factory. But...
we don't need him.
yeah, I'm not gonna go the way he wants me to, actually. The way I want to go is back through the elevator that I just came down. But it's inactive, so if I clip out of bounds, despawn the room, the elevator becomes active again. And this way you could just leave the factory right now. Yeah.
A cult full of murdering robots? Nah, the same I see. See you.
But the reason I'm coming up here is because this room is really high up in the factory, so it's kind of a convenient
place
to get.
To land in other places.
I'm trying for a skip here. I didn't quite get it there. Where I hit a dialogue trigger, and then void out. Maybe 10-15 minutes, or... okay.
Don't worry.
So what I was trying to do there, I was trying to hit this trigger that I'm about to walk by here. And if I'd done it successfully, I would have then been respawned back up the room where I came from, and I would be able to go all the way to the end of the factory straight away.
But as is, we're going to have to play at least a bit of the level.
Yeah, unfortunately, messing up that skip costs about 40 seconds, I think.
Oof.
But,
don't get squashed.
yeah. These crushes will instantly kill you.
This section on the 9S playthrough gave me a surprising amount of trouble because I could never quite get the timing down.
Yeah. So I would have come out about here. Wouldn't have had to do that crusher section, but...
sorry if I'm kind of fidgeting back here, just this wig is kind of itchy.
you could take it off if you want.
No, I'm committed.
And this is the boss of this area that's going to come up now. Soshi, he's a spider ball. I don't know what to call him.
The Orb Collective.
Yeah.
Which is also the name of my new house project. The Orb Collective.
He's going to be immune for the start of this fight, though. Until 9S shuts off power. So I'm just gonna hang out here. Yeah.
Just chilling.
And wait for the audio cue for 9S to shut off power.
Have you seen any good movies lately?
No.
Same pretty much. What about that weather, huh?
And after this boss, we get into the final stretch of the game,
Yeah.
which is like a boss rush.
I'm on 9s. There we go.
No, not yet.
Oh. There we go. I don't know why I just turned into Jeremy Clarkson.
I'm gonna try not to hit any of this guy's legs, because if you break a leg, he'll kind of collapse and be stuck in the collapse animation, and you won't be able to finish. You won't be able to finish the fight until he's finished, kind of getting up.
Fair enough.
So that was Factory. That went pretty poorly. But we're out of that now. Or we're going to be leaving. Going to be watching a bunch of robots commit suicide, which is always nice. And this is actually an area of the game that we were in the prologue.
Yeah.
And one of the skips that I used in the prologue is still going to work here. The clip out of bands here.
We do this at the beginning and the end of the run. How about that?
Yeah, it's quite nice symmetry, actually.
I'm sure that's what Yoko Taro would have wanted.
I just got plunge glitch there. It's didn't lose much time.
Oh, that's some light.
Yeah. So Eve is angry we killed his brother, and all the machines in the world are going crazy, start eating people.
Oh dear.
So we're gonna kill all the machines.
I'm heading back to the resistance camp. What about you?
Oh, we'll probably wander back to the village. I have plenty on my plate there.
I see.
This is the resistance camp.
Say again? I'm not receiving.
So I'm on my way to the resistance camp because there's a distress call because machines are eating people. I'm gonna have to deal with them.
That's pretty much just this whole game, isn't it? You get a call, machines are going, are eating people, go make them stop eating people,
That's basically it.
and learn something about yourself along the way.
So coming up here, this kind of starts the basically endless combat from here until the final boss is defeated. So
You okay? Here we try. Good luck.
Get some more of them Keiichi Okabe New Age classical bangers.
yeah,
Oof.
yeah. This 2D section is kind of annoying to deal with because you're stuck on a plane
Yeah.
with all the enemies.
Not as much room to dodge at all.
Yeah, and also you can't kind of deal with them as much as you'd like because they kind of get stuck behind one another. Some of the enemies can have quite long death animations that like
Keep you from advancing.
yeah, it's kind of annoying, but it's over. That was
Did you die?
yeah.
Huh. Was that supposed to happen?
No, that's not supposed to happen.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the respawn point for this would be. I think right at the resistance camp. Yeah. So, okay. I won't have my chips now until I beat this section again, but that's fine. What happened there was kind of unfortunate. My defensive buffs ran out, and I got hit by 2 attacks at the same time. One wouldn't be enough to kill me.
So just the ultimate combination of things that had things happening at the worst times.
It was avoidable though, so I'm gonna blame myself for that one. Also, because I don't have my resilience chip, this section is a bit more annoying now.
Yeah. Shockwave attacks.
Yeah, much more annoying without resilience. There we go. There's my chips.
Get some Chivos.
Thankfully, I have hit level 18 right there, so I think I'm actually all set to hit level 20 by the time I fight the final boss.
Do you get anything in particular level 20, or is it just a nice number to be at?
It's just kind of a nice round number.
Fair enough.
It's sort of the maximum level that you can hit if you get all of the XP that's available.
Hey, it's you again.
Yeah, this
How's it going, buddy?
Still annoying, still a ball spider.
Yep.
Still slow if you hit his legs like that.
Screaming though, that's a new one.
Yeah. And this is kind of showing off even more than in the early game, just kind of the obscene amount of DPS that double damage glitch is dealing. Because these supposedly endgame bosses are just dying.
Yep. Off.
This boss floats slightly above the ground, so I'm going to lure him to this hill so that I can be on a level with him.
So you can do ground combos.
Because double damage glitch kind of doesn't really work on targets that are quite a bit above you. How are we doing for time? We're right at the end, so should only be a few more minutes after this.
It's like this dude and then a few phases of Adam, right?
Eve. But
Oh, yeah.
You're right.
And a few phases of shirtless man.
Pascal is about to be attacked by a dinosaur.
Yep.
There we go.
It just never gets better for Pascal in this game, does it?
No.
He just wants to, like, hang out and teach children to read in the forest, and just nothing ever goes well for them. Oh, I feel bad.
So, some machines to fight over here at the entrance to Pascal's village. And then Core 2, and then the final boss. One annoying part about the damage glitch is because the way you do it is an evade and then a heavy. If an enemy decides to hit you as you're doing the damage glitch, you'll just evade instead, which is kind of annoying. Can I talk to you? Nice, no.
What happened here? The machines on the network all went berserk at the same moment.
Now we just gotta get over to the hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of glossed over that, but after we did the second Engels fight, a giant hole appeared in the world. We sort of jumped into it, but we didn't really touch on the fact that it was there.
Well, we haven't really done much in the city besides that.
Yeah. Especially because about by that point we had the fast travel. Here we are, here's the hole. This is where a robot used to be.
Eve is very mad. We killed his
Yeah.
brother, even though his brother literally asked for death.
You can tell he's sad because he's gone red and black. That's the Nier code for major character who is not very happy. Just like in the first one.
Please, no platforms.
Oh no.
Okay, you can actually skip this attack if you do enough DPS.
I don't remember this attack.
Oh, and I did do enough DPS, he just started platforms anyway.
Oh.
That's not that much time loss. I do have some crits here, so I'm going to try for a phase skip by continually damaging him in this
Out
section.
DPSing the heal.
Yeah. It's actually quite difficult to do. And I got one crit, but it wasn't quite enough.
Wasn't quite enough.
Yeah. With just the single crit one, it would have required quite good
Yeah.
double damage glitches. There we go. Now in this section, you're just gonna fly around and be kind of annoying. Yeah, I'm gonna use pod launches to try and close the gap with him. As well as pod program to DPS him down, kind of when he's flying above me. You can see resilience, the ability to kind of just travel through his bullets, coming in quite useful.
So when do we stop timing in this? Is it like when we get the last hit on this guy, or after a cutscene, or
It's
what?
the cutscene.
Cutscene, okay.
And now into the final phase. In this section we lose all of our abilities, so I'm just going to pod fire him down. This should be pretty quick actually. And then time is going to be when the final cutscene starts. Hopefully if I kill this phase while I'm close to him, I'll kind of be warped into the next cutscene, the penultimate cutscene. I think it's going to happen here actually. Yeah, there we go. So now a short dialogue, and then time will end as soon as the cutscene here starts.
Okay.
It's okay.
9S is sad because he got infected.
But you'll lose you, the you that exists at this very moment.
Guess so. But we can't upload this corrupted data to the bunker. So
9S.
And time.
There we go.
And that was Nier Automata.
What was the time?
Your time was 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 40 seconds.
I kind of expected that with especially with the death at the end. And that was a ending, not the full game.
That was ending 1 of 26.
Yeah.